Greetings folks. So we had a question in the comment section about how do you sharpen a straight razor. I know we've gone over some of the things with the hones and shown some images of sharpening in the past, but we've never done a step-by-step. I'm just going to show you right now quickly how we sharpen a straight razor. Now I have two different kinds of hones that I use. If you have a razor that doesn't need that much work, if it's in nice condition, if it's kind of got a sharpish edge on it already, you can use something like this Coticule, and that's what I use for that. If I have a razor that's very dull, no edge, it needs a bevel set, then what I'll do is I'll use this, which is a 100 grit Norton synthetic stone. No, this is a Norton 1000 grit stone. This is also why I did not become a doctor. So I'll go through that first. You have to soak this in water for maybe 20 minutes before you use it. And then I normally start out with the razor flat on the hone like this. I put my finger in the middle of the razor with a very gentle pressure just to hold it down, not a lot of pressure. And I just do 50 strokes back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, that was 50. Now I turn it over, gentle pressure, the spine and the edge flat on the hone, and I do another 50 strokes. $45, $46, $47, $48, $49, $50. All right, now I do the same thing, but 40 strokes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Turn it and do another 40. Turn it again and go to 30 strokes. Flip it and do another 30. I'm going to do it again, 20 strokes. Flip it, another 20. Now I'm going to go to 10 strokes. And 5 strokes. Now I'm going to do some X strokes, which are basically just single strokes. And what I'll do at this point, I did maybe 10, 15 X strokes, is I'll rinse the blade. And then let me dry this. Let me dry the blade a little before I try this. Then to find out if you've got some kind of an edge on that blade, I'll run the razor against my arm hair And if you have an edge, you should see some hair being cut, and I do, so that's good. So that means we got an edge. So now I'm going to move to the Coticule, which is in this case being used as a finishing stone. But like I said, if you have a razor that didn't need a bevel cut and it was in pretty good shape already, you could have gotten by with just this Coticule. So the way we use a Coticule is we get it wet. And then we take this, which is called a slurry stone, which is also another piece of Coticule. I'm going to put it on there and work up what's known as a slurry. Now this Coticule has microscopic garnets in it, and you work them out into the slurry this way. And the more slurry you have, the coarser the stone is. Now this stone will never be anywhere near as coarse as that Norton that we used. But the theory here is that we're going to start out with this slurry and then over time gradually dilute the slurry, making it a finer and finer hone. So I'm going to do 20 strokes like this. Flip it over, another 20. Again, gentle pressure, just letting the razor lay flat on the hone. Then what I'm going to do is take some water and put 1 drop of water on there. That was a little too much. You're going to aim for 1 drop. And do another 20. Flip it over, another 20. And put another drop of water on there. And another 20. And another drop of water, and another 20. And you're going to want to do this, I usually do it about 20 times, gradually diluting the slurry every time. Okay, so I did that about 20 times. I wound up with a pretty diluted slurry there. At the end, I'm going to rinse the Coticule hone off, and I'm going to get just some clean water on there. And then I'm going to, well, let me rinse the blade off because the blade has a lot of slurry on it. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to do 20 on this clean water. I'm going to do another 20 on the clean water. Now I'm going to go to 15 on the water. Now I'm going to go to 10. And 5. Then I'm going to do some X strokes. You can experiment with this to see what works best for you. What I'm doing is just what I've found works best for me. I usually do about 20 of these X strokes. And then I'm going to do just a few X strokes in the other direction, where I drag the blade this way. There you go. Now, you should have a usable blade. What you'd want to do at this point is go to your strop, your leather strop, and strop that for, I would say, after a fresh honing, do 200 passes on the strop to get that edge. While it may be sharp now, it's not that polished, so you want that leather to polish it up. It will get it to the sharpness that it needs to be, and you should be ready to go. If you find that the razor is not as sharp as you want it to be, you can go back to the, I mean, if it's not sharp at all, go back to the Norton and try from the Norton. If it's almost sharp enough, I would suggest just going back and going through the Coticule again. That routine should get it where it needs to be. I've had to do some razors, you know, a couple of times to get them where I needed them. But basically, that's how you sharpen a straight razor. If you have any questions, leave them below. That should get you going. Thanks very much for watching, folks. We'll see you next time.